In downtown Decatur, there's a CVS with the entrance right there on the corner and also an entrance to the parking lot on the other side of the building. So there's an example right there where you've got two, and that's a town center area just around the corner from the courthouse.
I'm not familiar with that store. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, I've never seen it. I'd love to go look at it, but all instances that I've had experience.
Corner of Commerce and Ponce de Leon.
I'll look at it and see. We've been told by our tenant that they wouldn't do it.
Okay. All right. Any more questions for the council?
He was still.
I'm sorry.
Getting to another point here.
Okay.
To address your other question or concern, the balance of the property, which it's not a lot of land, under the current economy, we wouldn't be willing to speculate just building retail space. We're already there isn't a lot of parking, and it would potentially be just vacant space in the city. I don't know how much vacancy there is within the city, but typically, if there was a need for that, we would certainly entertain it. But it would, there again, it's just something that we wouldn't be able to do to change the project, if that makes sense.
All right, thank you. Diane, you got anything you want to say?
No, I would think though, if you've done your homework, you know our vacancy rate.
Okay, Warren?
No, I haven't.
What about you, Jean?
Is there any, the company have any consideration for changing the heights of the windows or do that to try and make it more open? I guess it has the tall windows front to the refrigeration.
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Was there any considerations? I mean, you asked for the variance, but would they reconfigure the store in any way, or could they reconfigure the store to accommodate?
The situation when the windows and the way they were worked was, you know, I understand there are 4 variances, but we went, you know, we met with the mayor, city manager, Jason Gaines, in designing the project to really do the best that we could to implement what the retailer wants and to fit in the outlines and in the overlay guidelines. The windows, it's required that we do 65% of the front of the building, and we accomplished that. We can certainly go back and ask them to do the full length, but there's also tinting and other things in the ordinance that's not allowed. And all of our discussions were that it would look better, not looking at the back of the units. There was a question on fixturing. The retailer can't change their fixture plan. It's a balance. My challenge is a balance between what's acceptable to them and what's acceptable to you guys, and what you know kills project. And they wouldn't change their fixture plan. They just say, you know, we just have to go away. We can't do it here. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good practice to base your street appeal on your refrigerator.
Well, it's more for the city of how the building looks from the outside.
Right, to raise the
from
window
community.
because the refrigerator's there.
Well, instead of looking into the window at the back of it.
Refrigerator, right.
Okay, I think we discussed this long enough. Okay, I just want to give you an option. If you feel that the council is not going to approve this application, you can withdraw it without prejudice. That way you can bring it back. I just wanted to let you know that. That's the option that you have.
Mr. Mayor, if I could interrupt there. I believe what the code says is before the public hearing, which we already had. So it would require a majority vote of the council to waive that requirement of a 12-month delay. In other words, that threshold's already been crossed.
Okay, all right, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, all right, we'll see no more discussion. All in favor to approve this application?
Are we making a motion?
Didn't somebody make a motion? Okay, I need a motion to approve or not. We'll do it again.
I'd like to make a motion that we do not approve.
Denied. I need a second.
If I could,
Didn't already have it, that's what I thought.
there are 4 variances here, so if the motion could clearly indicate denial of all 4,
Yeah.
that's where you are.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to, well, the parking requirement, that variance, with the underground, that one doesn't bother me. You know, I'd like to withdraw the last motion
Okay.
and make a motion that we deny the first 3 variances. That the variance 1 eliminates the requirement for pedestrian-oriented building entrances on both sides of dual frontage lot. Second, the variance from the height range of storefront windows. And the third was eliminate the requirement for loading zone to not face public street. I'd like to make a motion to deny those 3.
Second. Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. All opposed? 1. Motion carries.
So we still have 1 variance application.
Yeah, okay.
And which
The recommendation to approve the condition of stormwater detention area.
I move that we deny that.
Okay, I need a second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed, motion carries. Okay. That's just,
Thank you.
Would you explain, did the thing get approved or not?
it's denied.
Yeah.
All of them were denied.
All variances were denied.
Okay, we'll go to agenda item F11, public hearing, zoning ordinance amendment to keeping the raising of farm animals.
That's okay. As we previously explored in the months of May and June, we had discussion regarding the amendment of ordinances relative to the keeping of domestic poultry. We had 2 versions of the ordinance for you previously for consideration. One was to basically provide make provisions for keeping poultry in single-family detached residential zoning districts with a limit for the number of birds you can keep based on the size of your lot. The other went as far as to eliminate all provisions for the keeping of livestock on lots within the city. At that time, we were informed by the city attorney that because this ordinance is part of the zoning ordinance, it was subject to the Georgia zoning procedures law. So we had to go back and do the proper advertising and give the Planning and Zoning Committee an opportunity to provide feedback. So having done all of that, we went to Planning and Zoning Committee with it last month. We have 1 version of the ordinance. We received direction to consolidate it into 1 single proposed ordinance amendment, and Mr. Quinn drafted that. Mr. Quinn, do you have it before you? I have a copy, but do you have it before you? Are you going to read?
I do, sure.
Okay. We'll read it at this time.
All right, well, I won't read this verbatim, but this is an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance to provide for and regulate the non-commercial keeping of poultry within the city. And we have provisions of the definition of poultry is any domesticated fowl, whether kept for production of eggs, meat, feathers, or otherwise.